Our dear friends, imagine for a moment that you are holding a priceless treasure in your hands. A treasure that not only defines who you are, but also has the power to impact the world around you. This treasure is your calling, your unique purpose. But here's the sobering truth. If you're not careful, this treasure can slip through your fingers. In this speech, I'm going to reveal 5 critical things that can strip you of your status as a chosen one. By the end, you'll not only know what to avoid, but also feel empowered to protect your calling at all costs. So whether you've been questioning your path, facing guidance, or simply seeking guidance, this message is for you. Stay with me, because what you'll hear today could be the key to transforming not just your life, but the lives of those depending on you. The danger of complacency lies in its subtlety. It creeps in quietly, often disguised as contentment or satisfaction, but its impact can be devastating for anyone chosen to fulfill a purpose. When we achieve a certain level of success or comfort, the drive to push forward can diminish. We begin to settle, believing that we have done enough or reached the pinnacle of what we were meant to do. This mindset is a trap, one that slowly drains our potential and undermines the very reason we were chosen in the first place. Complacency is not simply about stopping progress. It's about losing the hunger that fuels greatness. Every calling demands continuous growth. To be chosen means to constantly evolve, to strive for a higher standard, and to seek new ways to impact the world. But complacency tells us that we're good enough where we are, that there's no need to go further. It convinces us to settle into routines and avoid the discomfort of challenges. The danger here is that stagnation sets in, and with stagnation comes a slow erosion of our abilities, relevance, and passion. A chosen one must guard against this by maintaining a mindset of curiosity and a heart open to growth. Consider how innovation and excellence are driven by those who refuse to stop growing. Complacency, on the other hand, makes us resistant to change and closed off to new opportunities. It dulls our creativity, weakens our resolve, and reduces our ability to inspire others. Protecting our calling requires vigilance, a daily commitment to excellence, and a willingness to step out of our comfort zones. It's about choosing to remain teachable, even when we've achieved success, and recognizing that there's always more to learn, more to give, and more to accomplish. Complacency also leads to a false sense of security. We start believing that our past achievements are enough to sustain our future. This mindset blinds us to the shifting dynamics around us, leaving us unprepared for challenges that lie ahead. The world changes, and so must we. The chosen ones are those who stay ahead, not by being satisfied with yesterday's victories, but by continuously seeking new ways to grow and adapt. Remaining proactive, setting new goals, and challenging ourselves daily are critical to keeping our calling alive and thriving. To overcome complacency, we must cultivate a mindset of purpose-driven urgency. This doesn't mean rushing or overburdening ourselves, but it does mean acting with intention, keeping the fire of our vision burning bright, and never losing sight of the reason we were chosen. When we embrace a spirit of relentless pursuit, we not only protect our calling, but also inspire others to rise above mediocrity and strive for greatness. Complacency is not just a personal risk. It impacts the lives we are meant to touch. Therefore, Resisting its pull is not optional. It is essential. Don't, you know, the allure of distractions is one of the most significant challenges faced by anyone striving to fulfill their purpose. Distractions are everywhere, disguised as opportunities, pleasures, or harmless diversions. They appear appealing, often promising quick satisfaction or a temporary escape from the demands of your calling. Yet, their true cost can be devastating, as they chip away at your focus, energy, and determination, ultimately derailing you from the path you are meant to follow. Distractions are not always obvious. They can be subtle, creeping into our lives in the form of overcommitment, unhealthy relationships, or pursuits that seem meaningful but lack alignment with our greater purpose. For example, spending hours on social media, engaging in activities that don't contribute to your growth, or getting caught up in petty conflicts may seem trivial in the moment. However, these habits accumulate, pulling you further away from the clarity and focus needed to fulfill your mission. To protect your calling, you must develop a heightened awareness of how and where you invest your time and energy. Another danger of distractions is that they often cater to our desire for instant gratification. We live in a fast-paced world where quick wins and short-term pleasures are celebrated. But true success requires sustained effort and discipline. Chasing momentary pleasures may feel rewarding initially, but it distracts you from the long-term vision of your calling. The chosen ones are those who learn to resist these temptations, understanding that the rewards of fulfilling their purpose far outweigh any fleeting enjoyment offered by distractions. Distractions can also come in the form of good intentions. Opportunities that seem beneficial or worthwhile can sometimes lead you astray if they don't align with your core purpose. Not every opportunity is meant for you, and not every path will lead to your destination. Learning to discern between what serves your purpose and what distracts from it is a crucial skill. This requires self-awareness, clarity of vision, and the courage to say no even when it's difficult or unpopular. One of the most profound ways distractions impact us is by stealing our attention from what truly matters. When we allow ourselves to be consumed by trivial matters, we lose sight of our mission. This not only hinders our progress, but also diminishes the impact we could have on others. Staying focused requires intentionality, regularly revisiting your purpose, setting clear priorities, and eliminating anything that doesn't contribute to your growth. Protecting your calling from distractions is not easy, but it is necessary. It requires discipline, a strong sense of purpose, and a willingness to make sacrifices. This might mean cutting ties with certain relationships, setting boundaries, or restructuring your daily routines to minimize interruptions. It also means being mindful of your thoughts and guarding against negative influences that can cloud your judgment or weaken your resolve. Distractions will always exist, but they don't have to control you. By remaining focused and intentional, you can rise above the noise and stay aligned with your purpose. Remember, your calling is too important to be sidelined by trivial matters. Protect it fiercely and let nothing deter you from the mission you were chosen to fulfill. The weight of compromise is a burden that can quietly dismantle even the strongest foundations of purpose. Compromise, in this context, isn't about healthy flexibility or adaptability. It's about abandoning or diluting your values, principles, or convictions to achieve temporary gains, avoid conflict, or satisfy external pressures. While compromise may seem harmless or even necessary at times, it can erode the integrity and identity of a chosen one, ultimately stripping them of the status and effectiveness they were called to embody. Compromise often starts small, with seemingly insignificant choices. It might be as simple as cutting corners on a task, overlooking a minor ethical lapse, or agreeing to something that goes against your better judgment just to keep the peace. These decisions may feel inconsequential in the moment, but they set a precedent. Over time, small compromises accumulate, and the person who once stood firm in their values begins to drift. This gradual erosion of integrity can lead to a complete departure from the purpose you were meant to fulfill. One of the most dangerous aspects of compromise is its deceptive nature. It often presents itself as a practical solution or necessary step to achieve a goal. For instance, you might feel pressure to make ethical sacrifices in your career to secure a promotion or to align with popular opinions to gain acceptance. However, these choices, while seemingly advantageous in the short term, undermine your authenticity and credibility. Compromise may win you favor or success in the moment, but it robs you of the strength and respect that come from living a principled life. Compromise also weakens your ability to inspire and lead others. People look to those who are chosen for their unwavering commitment to what is right and true. When you compromise, you send a message that values and principles are negotiable, which can create confusion, distrust, and disappointment among those who look up to you. Being a chosen one comes with the responsibility of modeling integrity, even when it's difficult. Your actions set the tone for others, and your refusal to compromise can inspire them to stand firm in their own convictions. The true cost of compromise is not always immediately visible. It may feel like a small sacrifice in the beginning, but the long-term consequences can be profound. When you compromise, you risk losing not only your sense of self, but also the trust of those who believed in you. More importantly, compromise distances you from the higher purpose you were called to fulfill. It creates a gap between who you are and who you were meant to be, leaving you feeling unfulfilled and disconnected. To avoid the trap of compromise, you must cultivate a strong sense of self-awareness and an unwavering commitment to your values. This begins with knowing who you are and what you stand for. Regularly reflect on your principles and ensure they align with your actions. Surround yourself with people who share your values and who will hold you accountable. These allies will support you in staying true to your purpose, even when external pressures or temptations arise. It is also crucial to prepare for moments when compromise might seem appealing or unavoidable. Anticipate situations where your values could be tested and decide in advance how you will respond. By doing this, you strengthen your resolve and reduce the likelihood of making decisions you later regret. Remember, being chosen means holding yourself to a higher standard, even when the world around you does not. The weight of compromise may feel heavy at times, but the cost of carrying it is far greater than the effort it takes to stand firm. Protect your calling by refusing to let compromise define your actions or your legacy. Instead, let integrity be your guide, ensuring that your purpose remains intact and your impact enduring. Neglecting personal development is one of the most significant ways to undermine your status as a chosen one. The calling placed upon your life demands growth, maturity, and the continuous refinement of your skills, character, and mindset. To neglect personal development is to stagnate, and stagnation is the enemy of purpose. The process of becoming the best version of yourself is not optional. It is essential for fulfilling the unique mission you were created to accomplish. Growth requires intentionality. No one drifts into excellence or stumbles upon their fullest potential. Personal development demands a deliberate commitment to learning, self-reflection, and disciplined action. This means dedicating time and energy to improving your skills, gaining knowledge, and cultivating emotional and spiritual strength. Without this dedication, you risk becoming ill-equipped to meet the demands of your calling, leaving you vulnerable to frustration, burnout, and failure. Neglecting growth is not just a disservice to yourself. It's a disservice to the people and the purpose you were chosen to impact. A chosen one cannot rely solely on natural talent or past achievements. While these may have opened the door to your calling, they are not enough to sustain it. Every new level of purpose requires new levels of preparation. The challenges you face tomorrow will require skills and wisdom you may not yet possess. And the only way to be ready is to prioritize growth today. Neglecting personal development is like attempting to build a house without the proper tools. It leads to frustration and prevents you from completing the work you were meant to do. Personal development is not just about acquiring skills or knowledge, it is also about refining your character. Integrity, humility, resilience, and compassion are all qualities that must be nurtured. These traits form the foundation of your influence and effectiveness as a chosen one. Neglecting this inner work leaves you vulnerable to pride, selfishness, or emotional instability, which can derail your purpose and damage the trust others have placed in you. Personal development ensures that your character is strong enough to sustain the weight of your calling. One of the dangers of neglecting personal development is that it often goes unnoticed until it's too late. You may not immediately see the effects of failing to grow, but over time, the gaps in your skills, knowledge, or character become evident. Opportunities may pass you by, relationships may suffer, and the impact you once had may diminish. A chosen one must be proactive in identifying areas for growth and addressing them before they become liabilities. Regular self-assessment and a commitment to improvement are critical to staying on course. The fast-paced, ever-changing nature of the world today makes personal development even more vital. New challenges, technologies, and ideas emerge constantly, and staying relevant requires a willingness to adapt and learn. Neglecting this can leave you unprepared to navigate the complexities of your calling. Embracing personal development allows you to remain flexible, innovative, and effective, ensuring that you can continue to make a meaningful impact in an evolving world. Personal development is not a one-time effort. It is a lifelong journey. It requires consistency, discipline, and a growth mindset. It may involve seeking mentorship, reading, taking courses, or practicing new habits. It also involves learning from failure, accepting constructive criticism, and being willing to step out of your comfort zone. Each step of growth, no matter how small, brings you closer to becoming the person you were meant to be. Neglecting personal development is ultimately a choice to settle for less than what you were created for. It is a decision to remain stagnant while your calling demands progress. Protecting your status as a chosen one means embracing growth as a way of life. It means committing to the hard work of becoming better every day and refusing to let complacency, fear, or distractions hold you back. By prioritizing personal development, you ensure that you are equipped, empowered, and ready to fulfill your purpose with excellence. Failure to stay connected to your source is one of the most profound risks to the status and purpose of a chosen one. The source represents the foundation of your identity, strength, and direction. Whether you view this source as spiritual, moral, or deeply personal, it is the wellspring of your calling and the anchor that keeps you aligned with your purpose. When you neglect this connection, you risk becoming unmoored, directionless, and incapable of sustaining the weight of your mission. Staying connected to your source requires intentionality and consistency. It is not something that happens passively or by chance. Just as a plant cannot thrive without sunlight and water, you cannot flourish in your purpose without regularly returning to the foundation that fuels you. Neglecting this connection may initially go unnoticed, but over time it manifests in burnout, confusion, and a lack of fulfillment. Without the nourishment that comes from your source, you will find yourself running on empty, unable to pour into others or meet the demands of your calling. One of the most significant challenges in maintaining this connection is the busyness and distractions of life. As responsibilities and opportunities increase, it can be tempting to prioritize tasks and goals over the quiet moments of reflection and reconnection that are vital for your growth and guidance. However, this trade-off is a dangerous one. Success achieved at the cost of your connection to the source is fragile and unsustainable. True strength and clarity come from maintaining a grounded relationship